Hey Titans, I got another great practical automation for your business. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually extract your meeting notes into a project management tool like ClickUp or Asana or anything else. You might have a lot of client meetings that you're doing online through Zoom, through Google Meet, through Teams. Doesn't really matter which tool that you're using, but these notes, you want to get them into a tool like ClickUp, Asana, so it's easy for you to follow up with whatever has been discussed during these meetings. Because I see a lot of business owners doing a lot of meetings, but usually they either write down the notes, right, or the action points or whatever. They put it somewhere on a written paper or maybe on an iPad or whatever, but it never gets transferred easily without a lot of manual effort, right, into a project management tool. Yeah, of course, you can do it all manually, but the point is that we automate some stuff so we can save some time and that we don't procrastinate on putting these action points somewhere so we can follow up with them. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video. We're going to use tools like Fireflies AI, Zapier. We're going to use Chat GPT as well, and we're going to use ClickUp, right? These are the tools that we are using in our business. So this is what I'm going to show you. But again, see it as a practical automation example that you can also install within your own business. So the goal is really to get these to-dos quickly into a list in our tool, in ClickUp or in Asana. In our case, we do it in ClickUp. So let's get into it. Okay, so we have our meeting here in Fireflies, okay? And Fireflies is a really cool tool. As you can see, there's a lot of options here. But I'm not going to dive into the deep on this tool now. This is really about extracting these kind of action points that we have in here, somewhere in here, into our ClickUp list. We want to get it into ClickUp. Here we have like our Titanify lab, that's a test environment, and we have created a folder, meetings, and then a list action points. And I want new tasks to be added in here. Coming from Fireflies into ClickUp. That's what we want to do, okay? So to do that, let's go and create a Zap in Zapier. So I went ahead and did already some testing here in Zapier. And this is the first attempt that I did. I created this Zap for generic use, meaning that even if you don't have Fireflies, you could use something like this with any tool. The reason that I created this generic use Zap is in many cases, you basically only need a transcription. Then this is a good way to extract those kind of action points. We are going to use Chat GPT because we want to extract only the action points and not just the full transcription, right? Because we want to, as you can see, we want to do something like a loop within all the action points, and then from each action point, we want to create a task. So we start with a trigger. So the trigger here is with Fireflies because that's what we're using. So you'll have to check with your tool, with Zoom, with Google Meet, and so on, also to create a trigger, right? And creating a new trigger here. So we have this new. So we start with the new trigger here. So we start with a trigger here. This is a new meeting in Fireflies. So whenever a new meeting has been recorded in Fireflies, this will trigger. Okay. Then the next step is to basically add the transcription from here, from Fireflies into ChatGPT. Especially, again, this is more a generic use. So I'm just going to add just a full blob of text into ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it to basically extract the action points. So this is what I do here. So first of all, I selected my account. Of course, you have to have an account set up with ChatGPT. With OpenAI, basically, you need a paid subscription there to do this. And then you have the opportunity, then you have the possibility to create an action. And basically, the action that I chose is the conversation. Now we will create a new one in a minute, right? I just wanted to show you this one before we go into the actual one, okay? So what you do here is, as a user message, you say generate a comma-separated list of all action points in this meeting's transcript. And then I give it the transcript. Now here I give it the summary because you will need to give it the text, right? So you could do some other stuff in here because Fireflies itself gives us also the opportunity to, or the possibility to create, to input. So Fireflies also has the possibility to give us, so Fireflies also gives us the PDF of the transcription. So what you could do in between is actually extract the text from the PDF and then put it into Chat GPT. Now I'm not going to do that here. I just have the summary already from from Fireflies. Okay, so that's what I put in here. And I definitely say, like, make sure to only return a comma separated list because it's used in a Zapier automation. I do that because in the next step, I want to actually create a numbered list of all the actions. Because if we just return the comma separated list by itself, we cannot do really that much with it. So when I run this test, it will give me back this. So then you just get all the actions that it extracts with a comma separated. Now that output you can put into the formatter by Zapier. Then if you go into the actions, you name it actions points as line items group name, right? And then as a line item properties, you say, well, it's going to be an action. That's what it's named. And what I will give here is our output from the output from Chat GPT. Okay. So here we have the reply. Good. This will give us a comma separated list, right? So here you can see the output is action points. That's our group. And then each one is an action, right? Action, action, action. And then we have about 22 of those actions in here. Then the next step is we can create a loop in Zapier, looping by Zapier. Here we set up the fact that it will have to loop through all of the line items before here, okay? And this will generate then the loops, right? 22 loops. And within Zapier, once you set up your loop, then all the actions after that loop will be activated or will be run for each of those loops. So this action here, create task in ClickUp, will run 22 times based on the amount of line items here, all right? So this will create a task in ClickUp based on the information that we got from the numbered list. So here I put in what is the task name. So here you can see from the loop, we have the action, right? And then we can put that in as a task name, okay? And this, if we test this, and I'll do it here. So I do a retest and it will take the first loop and I will create the task in ClickUp, okay? So we go here and then immediately you can see this has been added in the list, all right? You can add some extra information here based on what you have within your automation. So pretty straightforward if you know your way around Zapier a little bit, but this is how you can extract action points from a transcription from your meeting, okay? This is for generic news. All right, let's jump into a more specific use, and this is only for Fireflies. Now, the good thing about Fireflies is that they return a lot of objects if you trigger this action. So if you look at the test, you can see here, this returns the meeting that we were looking at. So Martin, Stefan, that is the meeting that we're doing right here. So it gives back the meeting and it will return a lot of things. And among those things are super summary lists. So that's the good thing about this action. It returns super summary action items. So it already gives us a numbered list of actions. So this means that what we did before, we can actually skip a lot of these tasks, a lot of these actions, and we can go straight into looping. So we go straight into looping these line items. And the line items come from super summary list action items within Fireflies. So if we do that, pretty easy, then what we get is, again, a loop per action item. Okay, so this will happen. So we have six actions here because it's really based on what Fireflies gives us from action points. So within Fireflies itself, you will be able to go to action items right here. And even here you have 10. So not sure why it's giving just back 6, but it gives back a numbered list. So that's what we need. Then we extract structured data in Chat GPT. What does that mean? Look, it gives us back a numbered list of items. So, and this is what it gives us back. So it gives us back, the action is 1 dot, and then Martin will write content. This is what it gives back. Okay. Now, what I want to extract from this is actually who is going to do the task, right? What is the ID, who is going to do the task, and what is the task about? That's what I want to extract. So we can extract that using Chat GPT. We can extract from this string, we can extract a structured data using Chat GPT. Okay, and I like this because it will give us a lot of options once we have the structured data. So we select the action, extract structured data in Chat. And what do we want is, first of all, we have to put in the unstructured text. So that is the action that we got from the loop. So we select our model and so on and so on. The description is, what I want it to give back is I need an ID, a name, and an action description. Those are the 3 objects, let's say. These are the 3 things that I want to get back from the unstructured data. So then you put in values to extract, ID, assignee, and action description. So these are the names that I give it. So you can do whatever you want here, but these are the ones that we used. Okay. Then what is the description for ID? So it looks for, so if you give here ID, then it will ask for what is the description for ID. Then it's the ID of the task, right? Should it be required? Yes. What data type is ID? It's a number. What are possible values? Doesn't matter. And you do this for all the fields, all the values that you want to extract. That's the information you give ChatGPT, right? Once you have done that, it will come back with an output like this. So this is structured data coming out of ChatGPT. So we have the ID, we have the assignee, and we have action description. So then it makes it very, very easy to not just create a task, but also to fill out some of the custom fields. And that's really why I wanted to use this action. I really wanted to get the structured data out of ChatGPT, because if we just create a task like we did before, very generic like this one, so Martin restarts device, blah, blah, it doesn't contain anything else, right? Then it's not that useful, because we still will need to do a lot of the things ourselves to put it into the right assignee, to add some other information in the task. So I want to also automate that. So that's why I extracted the structured data in ChatGPT, and then we can create a task with this information. So I selected our space and so on and so on. And then we have the task name where I used the structured data from ChatGPT. So you have these objects here. So we have the ID, action description, and assignee. So I put in here action description as the task name, then just a description, whatever you want to put in here. You can also imagine that you can do more, you can extract more information, but this is more than enough for now for this example. And what I also added is 2 extra custom fields that I wanted to show. It's like meeting date, and I used the pretty date from Fireflies, because I want to know with these tasks from which meeting is this. So you can see here, this is an example, right? So write content in a Google Doc. Responsible is Martin. Meeting date is 3 days ago. A meeting recording, this is the link to Fireflies. So these fields have been entered, have been filled up by Zapier by doing this, right? So meeting date, we got the pretty date here. We got the responsible from the structured data in ChatGPT, and we got the meeting recording as well from the transcript URL from Fireflies. This produces this task right here, all right? So very practical example, very practical automation, only 4 steps. Now, it seems it's only 4 steps, so it's it's not that complicated to set up. You have to think a little bit like, okay, what is the data that I'm working with? What do I want to do with the data? But this is something you can definitely set up yourself, right? So I would say try it out. Let me know how it goes. If you want a more if you want really a step by step where I go into each of these steps together with you, let me know. Then I will create a more detailed video of each of these steps. But for now, this will do to give you an example of a very practical business process automation. And I can already see that this is saving me so much time. I mean, whenever we have meetings, all of these action points get added into a list here in ClickUp, and then we can do whatever we want with it. But the fact is that this is just the beginning, right? This is just to give you an idea of what is possible. We can do more actions here. We can extract more data. We can add even more automations here in ClickUp as well if we want to. But this is the beginning. So try this out, see where you get, and then start improving this automation. That's also the point, really, that starts with something small, with something simple, and then elaborate on that piece by piece by piece by piece. And you might come up with a lot of extra steps here, and it might become really complicated. But in the end, if it does save you a lot of time, extra work, if it saves your team members a lot of extra work, I think it's worth it, right? So I hope this was valuable. As you can see, it doesn't always have to be that complicated to set something up within your business. Now, if you need any help with this, you always can reach out to me. I'm Stefan Vreese. I'm the founder of Titanify.biz, and we visualize, systemize, and automate any business process within your business. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button below, and we will see each other in another video.